Robert Heffernan, Cooking Vamp 69. This week with Harding Hill Farms and Terry and Kelly Webb, it is sugaring time. Whoa, look at that technology.
Yeah.
Tyler, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. Tyler, my first question, a two-part question. Harding Hill seems to have the same color scheme as the Patriots. Any reason?
We might be in New England.
Right. Tell me what Harding Hill is.
Harding Hill Farm is a diverse family farm business. We do a little bit of everything. We kind of hit every season. Currently, we are doing our maple sugaring, making some maple syrup. I'm a certified arborist, so during the summer, I climb trees and do residential pruning and removals.
Right.
We do wintertime timber harvest, and then we also sell firewood, grass-fed beef, and pasture-raised pork.
Nice. So you have a heritage pork. You know what? Let's get back to that. But the Harding Hill sign behind you, is there actual hill that you can ski on your property?
The sign behind me, my grandfather actually created when he bought the farm in 1948.
Yeah.
He came to Sunapee and wanted to run a bed and breakfast
Right.
with Mount Sunapee, which is right around the corner from us, about 5 minutes away.
Okay.
This was the original bed and breakfast sign that he created back in 1948.
Oh, that is awesome. That's a little bit of family history. All right.
We're a third generation farm.
Third generation. You know, I was on the farm and I quit the farm back in 1986, Tyler. You know, I'm not proud to say that, you know, but it's true because there's always work on the farm. The work never ends on the farm.
I do have to agree, the work never ends. Yeah.
Right? Never ends. All right, let's talk a little bit about maple syrup because we are sugaring now. And I did a little, I did my due diligence on the history of maple syrup. But tell me how long, so you guys have had the farm since the 40s. Have you been maple sugaring since then?
We actually have been making syrup since 1963. That's our first recorded piece. We
Okay.
actually use a sugar house that we rent from a local dairy farmer. And that building was built in 1928. When they were transitioning to milk more cows, my grandfather was really interested in it, and he kind of took it over from there. So we've been making syrup in that sugar house since 1963. And, well, basically, I've been making syrup for my entire life. My birthday is on March 1st, and we actually try to strive to make maple syrup for the first time on the 1st of March. So traditionally, we are making syrup on my birthday, so I'd like to say I've been making syrup my entire life.
That's awesome. You know, I'm out here freezing next to the sugaring shack. You're enjoying the comforts of the inside.
Yeah.
You know, which is okay. You know, I'll work for a few days here and there on the farm if I get some maple syrup out of it. But what I didn't know when I start to investigate that maple syrup is an American-made product. Like there was no, like the pioneers didn't come over and say, hey man, we've been making some killer maple syrup in Scandinavia or in Europe. It was all in the Northeast, and that's where it started. And we still make about probably 95% of the maple syrup between us and Canada that's produced in the world. I had no idea about that.
Yep, the Indians started back in the day. From the folklore, it was started by an Indian chief that put his hatchet into a tree, and happened to be springtime, happened to be the right weather for it. The sap ran down his hatchet into the bucket or the birch bark vessel that was right below the hatchet, and they used that to cook dinner that evening. And it turned into syrup, and from there it's kind of history. They used hot rocks originally to boil the sap to make the maple syrup, and then when we came along, we brought the copper cauldrons and that sort of stuff, and now we've upgraded to stainless steel evaporators, and we can make quite a bit of syrup in a little bit of time.
All right, so another thing, obviously, it only happens in springtime, and from what I read, that your yield is heavily dependent on what's going on climate-wise as far as above 40 and back below 32. Tell us a little bit about what you usually expect as far as how long the season happens, and just a little bit about the weather and the changing weather.
So traditionally, our maple syrup season is in this area at least is like the last week in February to the first week in March. So it's a 4 to 6 week window. We make syrup anywhere, or boil and make syrup anywhere from 10 to 25 days in that season. And it all depends on the freeze-thaw cycle of the spring. We're looking for approximately 20 to 25 at night and 40 to 45 during the day with full sunshine and no wind. So from there, there's a lot of different variables. We can have a lot of it depends on the barometric pressure as well. Sometimes I've seen some of our hardest runs at right around 32. And then I've seen funky runs that happen at 70 degrees. The biggest thing is we need to maintain those freezing temperatures at night. And unfortunately, I believe we've lost most of our freezing temperatures at night, and our season may be ending early. But we also very early season this year. We tapped for the first time, and tapping is putting the holes in the tree for the first time. And we tapped the 28th of January and made syrup on February 1st, which is the earliest we've ever made syrup in the history of our farm. That it's 18 days earlier than before and almost a full month earlier than we normally make syrup.
Wow. Yeah, who says there's any climate change?
Right. It's been very funky. It was a very lax snow most of the winter. So
well, there's snow out here.
Yes, there was a little snow that picture there. Last year we were through over 3 feet of snow to find our trees and actually digging the tubing out of the snow. And this year we were running around in hiking boots and didn't even need our winter boots.
Wow. All right, so you were around when there was buckets being hung on trees, yes?
Just a few. Fortunately, the most I think I ever put up was about 7 when I was younger and motivated to go get buckets. And since then, I've upgraded to putting out 2 buckets for our kindergarten class tours every year.
Right. All right. And how old does a maple tree have to be before it's ready to produce?
On average, it's about 40 years old. It really depends on the growing conditions of that site and of that tree. We more base it on the diameter, and we start tapping our trees right around 10 inches.
Okay.
And that's 10 inches in diameter. And then we put a second tap onto that tree right around 20 inches in diameter.
Wow.
And we actually don't have, we try not to tap any 3 taps per tree because we're trying to tap conservatively and manage the trees so my kids can tap the same trees that my dad tapped and go from there.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So also super exciting on the demand side, I'm sure it's going to be. In the last week, I read a study out of Toronto of the health benefits, especially fighting Alzheimer's with maple syrup. Did you read that?
I did read that. I didn't read the article yet, and I actually just saw something that came across my news feed that maple syrup just joined the superfoods group along with broccoli and blueberries.
Maple syrup, right? You know, I brought in the segment. I try to play just a little ditty or a little part of a song before or into every segment. And so I looked up, it's a Marvin Gaye song, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby. But it was popularized by the Supremes and Diana Ross. I got no way that I could possibly pull that off. But maple syrup, honestly, is one of those things that, you know, they mass produce the fake stuff for so long. Like, I don't think I ever tasted real maple syrup in my life until I was probably a teenager or something. I mean, the fake stuff. In fact, when I first tasted it, I was like, holy shit, this is no good. Where's the fake high fructose corn syrup that, you know, the big agriculture has tasted my palate to accept. So
unfortunately, maple syrup really is one of those things that a lot of people haven't tried, and when they do get a chance to try it, they love it.
Absolutely.
And any chance that I can get to convert somebody from the fake stuff to the real maple syrup, I definitely take full advantage of that.
Oh yeah, and you know what? And now, I mean, I can't even look at the old stuff, you know, and I see the hypocrisy of it even more. You know, the log cabin, I want to burn it down. And Aunt Jemima, shame on you, Aunt Jemima. Come on, we need the real thing, the real thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you're fully into, you're almost to the end, I guess, this year of sugaring. And do you make all that syrup and bottle it all in the same, you know, go at it, or do you have big vats that you then tap into for the rest of the year? What's that like as far as logistics for a sugarer?
So most sugar makers bottle some during the season just to meet the demands of the customers coming into the sugar house.
Right.
But most of our production, I'd say 60% of our production goes into 30-gallon drums. And the reason we put it into bulk containers during the season is, one, it's difficult to try to put everything into a container in such a short time. And we really do only spend maybe 20 days in the sugar house some years. So we try to limit the hours that we spend in the sugar house because it's already long enough. I mean, some days we're doing 12 and 16-hour days. But we put it into those bulk containers to then bottle it back to what we get for orders during the season.
Right.
Because it's very difficult to predict what we're going to have for the orders during the season because it changes quite drastically during from year to year.
How much does a 30-gallon container of maple syrup weigh?
Syrup weighs 11 pounds to the gallon, so 11 times 30. Do the math on that one real quick.
333? I don't know. I'm horrible. Math is one of those things that sneaks up on you. You don't even know, and all of a sudden you're trying to do math, and me not doing well. We'll leave it to the rocket scientists in the Mangia Nation to do that math.
There you go.
All right, so obviously a ton of things you can do with maple syrup. I mean, it's obviously not just for pouring over pancakes all over, although I will do that until I'm sick of them. But maple syrup, so many other things now, people using it in baking. What's one of your favorite things that you use maple syrup for other than putting on pancakes?
I actually use the most syrup out of anything else for my coffee. I've stopped using cane sugar and use maple syrup in my coffee instead. Oh. And I use way too much.
You know what though? You're getting your vitamins, you're getting the trace elements, you're getting a lot of good stuff, you know? So
that's right.
That cannot be possibly bad for you, even though you get a little sugar kick for it. All right, tell me some more things about Harding Hill Farms, because obviously sugar and sugaring maple syrup is only one thing. I saw on your Facebook page and on your website, do you have heritage pigs? What kind of pigs are you guys doing there?
They're actually kind of they're a mix of a couple of breeds. We get them from a friend of ours. I went to college up in the Adirondacks in upstate New York.
Okay.
So one of my friends from college actually raises pigs up there. Their farm is on an old Atlas missile silo site. Their farm is called Atlas Hoofed It Farm. Cool. And they raise pigs and Scottish Highlanders. And we get our pigs from them. So it's a mix of Old Black, I believe, some Hampshires, and some Berkshires. So they call it the Adirondack Heritage breed. So they're kind of mutts, but they've got some great pigs that are raised on a pasture-based system, so just like what we like to try to do with our pigs. So I can't exactly say what they are, but we like to call them the Adirondack Heritage breed. All
right. So they're the mutts. They're a rescue breed. I love it.
Yes, almost.
Exactly.
They've been bred for the tough climates of the Adirondacks.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And then tell me a little bit about the grass-fed beef, because we spend a lot of time on Mangia TV talking about various ways of reclaiming our food heritage and supporting local, which is obviously you. And we've talked a lot about grass-fed beef. So tell us a little about what you got going as far as that's concerned.
So at Harding Hill Farm, we've always kind of raised cows and had them on pasture, and we've always put one cow in the freezer for ourselves.
Right.
And just recently, in the last couple of years, we've started marketing and selling our grass-fed beef to the local customers here in the area, mostly customers that were buying maple syrup from us. So we've just kind of expanded our markets there. So we have a pasture-based system as well, where we buy bottle calves, and actually we start our calves with a bottle, and we actually give them a little bit of grain to get them going. And then for the last 18 months of their life, we put them on either hay or put them on pasture for the rest of it. We think it promotes a pretty good meat, and we think it's a wonderful product to have instead of the feedlot style.
Well, yeah, you're preaching to the choir with me on the whole food production system. It seems to me too that it's not just food production, that we've incentivized scale to such a degree that, but I really do believe that there's a revolution going on where people understand that everything at scale fails and fails miserably. And, the food is just one component that I think we're making strides at to get back to micro production instead of macro production, supporting local, all those types of things. And my hat's off to you at Harding Hill Farms for seizing the opportunity, because, I guarantee as this movement goes forward that you're going to be able to sell what you need to sell to live a happy and comfortable life on Harding Hill Farm. And you're going to, you guys are the new rock stars. That's the way I'm looking at it,
I think a big part of what we're doing is we're letting people see where their food comes from. If somebody wants to drive up our road and see a cow in the pasture, which is pretty neat to look at, but also realize that that could be their dinner for the winter, and it's had a happy life throughout its life. I think that's a very important thing for a lot of people to see, and a lot of people believe in that.
Absolutely. All right, Tyler, how can people get a hold of your maple syrup and things? You have a Facebook page, correct?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. We also have a website. It's hardinghillfarmnh.com. So you could either reach us through that with our email link there, or message us on Facebook.
All right, man, fantastic. All right, listen, I'm gonna let you go for a second here and try to play the video again on the way out. But thank you so much for spending some time with us. Good luck, for the rest of the syrup season. I want to hear you say it for me, though. All right, go Bears! You can say it. Come on.
Oh, come on. I don't know if I can.
You can't say it.
I don't know if I can do it.
All right, Tyler. Thank you so much. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure. And thank you for being a part of Mangia TV. Keep up the good work, and break a leg out there on the farm.
Thank you much. Have a great one.
All right, pal. That was in the Mangia TV editing room. There's a lot of film on the ground that had to be edited out. They get a little crazy out there at Harding Hill Farms sometimes. So you never know what you're going to run across in the editing room after a live video shoot. All right, man. That is super exciting stuff. And again, man, maple syrup now, they're thinking can help prevent and or cure Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases. How crazy is that? All right, Aunt Jemima, you better get on your horse and get out of town. What else in the news? Just I knocked at the door a little bit ago was the hot water heater for the Mangia Tuscan chuck wagon. That's going in tomorrow. We are getting close here to being able to fire some food up on the chuck wagon. And what else do we got? We got another Taste of Therapy session on Thursday with Allison. This week she is going over a spring cleaning to-do checklist for your relationship. Who doesn't like spring cleaning? I mean, I actually love spring cleaning and mostly getting rid of stuff. So tune in on Thursday for that episode. That's it, man. Thank you so much for hanging out again on a Monday with me. Do yourself a favor and cook somebody a meal, would you? And hey, do Harding Hill Farms a favor and add maple syrup to the recipe. If you're in the Northeast, Boston area, Lake Sunapee is not that far of a drive. Get out to Sunapee and hang out at Harding Hill Farms. That's it. That's what I got. You guys have a great week. Take care of each other. We will see you next Monday. Got a couple good cooking vamps coming up. We're going to have my friend Ari Fleischman, who is a professional dog trainer and actually feeds his dog raw versus kibble. I bet you didn't even know what kibble means. I didn't until I talked to him. That's coming up on April 4th. We got some other ones that are pretty cool for the end of April. If you know anybody that has a passion for cooking, has a lifestyle brand, has a restaurant, or would like to be interviewed on a Mangia TV cooking vamp, have them reach out to us at info@mangia.tv. Yeah, that's it. Until next week, you guys have a great day. Happy Monday, happy week. And I forgot to bring this one up. This is Harding Hill Farm also. I wanted to show that to Tyler and say, dude, I'm on the farm. Where are you? I forgot to, though. Anyway, next week. That's it. You guys have a great week. We'll see you. And ain't nothing like a real thing.